Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coin Drop Podcast. This is episode number 36, and I just want to start it off by saying thanks so much for your support this year, and welcome to the final episode of 2023. I guess by the time this goes live, it'll actually be 2024, but thanks for joining us on this journey. Tim, welcome back. How you been, man? Did you have a good Christmas?
I did. It was a rather good week.
Cool.
I got multiple video games from Assassin's Creed Mirage to that's another one that escapes my memory at the moment for some reason. But I got Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, and I'm very much enjoying the game. It is an extremely gorgeous, beautiful video game. So we'll be talking about that later.
Yep, that will be a topic for Patreon. So if you want to hear Tim's thoughts on that, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/CoinDropPod. It's only $3 a month to get early access as well as that additional content. So everything we do over there, minimum of $3. You can sign up for a $1 tier, which is just like throwing us $1 saying, hey, we like what you do, which gets you exclusive channels in our Discord if you join us there. Otherwise, check us out. See what we got over there. We got quite a bit of content, but let's hold off on that for the Patreon. Not a ton of news this week as we wind down the year. So this episode's going to be slightly different. We're going to be talking about kind of a year in review, all of the stuff that came out, that we played, that we experienced, that we liked, that we didn't like. Just kind of going over 2023 in the world of gaming. So to start that off, Tim, let's go ahead and jump into Palia. You recently started playing this one, right?
Yeah, I actually downloaded it yesterday. So there's a gaming browser, meaning like Google browser or Chrome. I mean Google Chrome and Edge and whatnot, but it's called Opera. It's an Opera browser. Anyway, it's a gaming browser. They have an option for you to click on. They call it the GX Corner, and this GX Corner gives you a release calendar. It tells you what games are on sale. It tells you what games are free. It tells you what games are free to play. It tells you the news, etc., and so on. There's tons of video games information. So, anyways, I was looking through this game and I saw the free to play section, and I'm like, okay, you've got your typical ones like Naraka, World of Tanks, Genshin Impact, etc. I shifted through it and I saw Palia, and I'm like, I've heard of that game and I'm interested in it for some reason. I don't remember why, but I am. So I clicked on it. I saw that it was free on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, that seems like an interesting choice. So I looked to see if it was on Steam, and it wasn't. It comes to Steam next year.
Yep.
But I did see, however, that it was free on the Epic Game Store, and so I was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and give it a shot. And looking at it just real quick, I saw that it was very much, or at least to my view, it was very much like a game that I played a few years ago, back 2018, 2019, something along those lines, called My Time at Portia, which is an extremely similar graphically type game, but it's a very Animal Crossing-esque type life sim. The game is self-described as a cozy life sim MMO, and meaning like there's extremely little to no combat. There's basically, the whole point is for you to just almost like The Sims, but in a fantasy setting, and the whole point is for you to, like, as you can see in the footage now, is to hunt down animals, go through caves, find materials, things of that sort, and basically you just kind of live in this fantasy world. You get a plot of land, which you start with a little tent. Actually, it's a rather large tent, honestly, but you get this little tent, and then eventually you get what's it called? Basically, a house. The mayor of the town gives you a house.
So you're Tom Nook style kind of guy.
Exactly. You're Tom Nook.
Yeah.
This fat dude is the best way to put him. This fat guy who seems to be not know what's going on or where anything is. He's like, yeah, I think I've got that. Let me look for it. Go to your plot, then just like spend some time over there. I'll come and bring you your thing eventually.
Sounds shady.
But while you're at it, go talk to the carpenter, which is some random female lady that looks nothing like a carpenter. But anyway, the whole point is for you to just gather materials, talk to different characters in the game, NPCs and stuff. There is apparently supposed to be some sort of like mystery. I haven't quite figured out what that is yet. I played it only about 3 hours, but I played for a solid 3 hours straight yesterday. And the animation quality is really good. It feels like not quite like, say, a Disney 3D film, but like it is in that vein where things are a little bit more over exaggerated and stuff. But the animation quality is pretty high. So that's one thing I really enjoy about the game. and you can customize your character fully, as you can see at the moment. You can choose male or female. You can, all that fun stuff. And you're a human that materializes out of nowhere in the middle of some cave. It's one of these, whatever those purple characters are. They haven't quite told me what they are. The purple human-looking things.
Sure.
They're now apparently the major race on the planet, and humans went, quote, extinct like years ago, and for some reason they're all waking up now. Again, I haven't figured out what that is, but basically the whole point is for you to just kind of build a homestead, basically, I guess is the best way to put it. And, a lot of it becomes, the world basically just becomes, here's this task. You want to make your house bigger. But in order to make your house bigger, you have to delve here to get the materials to make a crafting bench, which then, snowballs into ever deepening difficult tasks.
Sure.
But there's also the NPCs in the world, which you can actually grow relationships with. And in My Time at Portia, which this game clearly, or not clearly, but very, very seriously mimics, you can get romances with these characters. I don't know if you can have children and do that sort of stuff, but it's a game that recently launched. Actually, I think that August 2nd date is incorrect. I think they actually ended up delaying it to October.
Yeah, this is an old launch trailer.
Yeah, which is no big deal. It's only a couple months later, but
Yeah.
It launched in early access in October. I did look to see if there was a roadmap, and there is, kind of, but it seems like they're very leery of giving us dates on anything.
Sure.
But it is an MMO, and they do highly encourage people to help each other. Everyone gets rewarded for helping out on killing, similar monsters or mining the same nodes. If you need help on, building this task, meaning you need that material, you can actually request it, and people in the community can give it to you. And it basically is. It just seems like a cozy life sim. Like literally, just spend a little bit of time, relax. Don't worry about any serious combat or anything like that. Just have a good time.
Yeah.
And spend time with a community that's trying to do exactly the same thing. And so there's no stress involved. Just enjoy your time with the game. And for the 2.5 hours I played, I had a little bit of interaction with a few people. I put a few requests up, and they were all filled pretty quick. I even filled a few requests myself. And it's a simple yet fun game.
Yeah.
And My Time at Portia was really fun. It had some like, you could tell it was an indie title, and it had a lot of like, I wish they'd polished this a little bit more. And Palia feels like they took that and polished it. They did the polish that I was hoping for in My Time at Portia. And I'm happy with this, because My Time at Portia I actually wrote a review, sadly it's not available anymore to read. But when I wrote that review of it, I basically said this is the type of evolution that Animal Crossing is needed for like a decade. And Palia is taking that to the next level. And so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I actually I signed up for the closed beta for this game, and unfortunately every time they ran the test, I got into it, but unfortunately every time they ran the closed beta, like their times were like, well, I've got to work those times, so can't play. Sorry. So I never actually got a chance to get my hands on it, but it did look interesting to me too. I actually shared it with some friends, and they're like, it doesn't seem like your type of game. And I'm like, well, I've always had like, I like some of them. I'm very particular on which of those cozy life sims I like. Like, I like the classic Harvest Moon. Specifically, I liked Harvest Moon 64. Like, that was still one of my all-time favorites in this in this genre. Stardew Valley's okay, but I found myself liking Moonlighter a lot more. And then my favorite one of all time, hands down, if you like cozy life sims and you want to really like spin it on its head, Graveyard Keeper is a fantastic flip on the whole system. Like, it's fantastic game. Highly recommend.
I have heard a lot of good stuff about Graveyard Keeper, and hell, Paula back in the early days of CoinDrop, she would constantly recommend that game. Yeah. I've never gotten around to it.
Dude, it's so good. It'd probably play great on the Switch, not the Switch, the Steam Deck for you. But like, it's a solid game. I highly recommend it. It turns the whole thing on its head. You, instead of planting crops and stuff like that, you have to like perform autopsies on corpses and then like sew them up and get them ready for burial. It's hilarious, dude. It's so good. Yeah, you got like you wake up in this fantasy world and you've got like a talking head that follows you around, and it's a good time. It makes it a lot of fun. But like, that's definitely more my speed. Palia looked cool. I liked the blend of Sims with like the crafting, creating style of like not necessarily Minecraft, but your survival crafting sim, that kind of thing. So I'm glad to hear that it's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it to come to Steam. I'll have to check it out when it does. Yeah.
He's highly against the Epic Game Store.
I'm against not just Epic, all launchers. Like Blizzard BNet gets a pass because that's existed since I existed for the most part. Like, so like Blizzard gets a pass, but like I have EA launcher, I have Steam, I have Oculus launcher, I have Blizzard, I have EA, I've got Ubisoft. It's just too much. Just put everything on Steam and just stop.
Of all fucking launchers, you have the EA launcher. But you don't have Epic. Epic gives you free shit weekly. Hell, right now they're giving free games daily.
I have Epic. I just refuse to use it. I have EA because I have a lot of the Star Wars game, like Jedi Fallen Order and stuff like that. And you have to launch. It's stupid. And Anthem.
Outlaws coming next year, which will be more conversation. But yeah, that game looks
yes, it does. That'll be a conversation for later, like you said. But yeah, Palia looks cool.
Last thing I really have to say about Palia is that it's supposedly better played with friends. As you can see in the trailer, they constantly show people doing things together, and I have yet to do that, but my expectation is it really will be a better game if you're playing with at least one other person.
Well, I mean,
I don't know how you're going to do that because a lot of the gameplay is focused on your, like I said earlier, homestead. But I mean, maybe they managed to figure that out.
Is it instanced? Your homestead, is it instanced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So there's the town that you go to, and then like shortly outside of town, there's essentially a loading zone, and you go to your town. Like right now, what you're seeing is that person's in there, their instanced homestead.
Gotcha. So. Yeah, I mean that's all MMOs, right? Isn't every game better with friends? Like that's the whole thing. Yeah. Like if it has multiplayer, it generally is better with friends. I've got my list of games for next year that I'm playing through that are not at all new games. My brother even commented when I was talking to him. He's like, "Are you playing Division 1?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? Fuck with me." So he's like, "All right." He's like, "All right, respect." I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. Fuck off." But
I've been Steam Deck and the PlayStation Portal has managed to make me play a lot of old school games. Although PS Portal is allowing me to play new games too.
Yep.
Which might also be a conversation for a little bit later today.
Yeah. Cool. Well, any other final thoughts? Any other final thoughts on Palia before we move on to kind of our year in review?
Not particularly. It's a free-to-play game. It's on Epic Game Store at the moment. It's available apparently on Nintendo Switch. It is. I don't know if it's available on other consoles at the moment, but I know it will be in the future. So, I mean, if you have a PC or a Switch, give it a look. It's free. I mean, what's going to hurt?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump on into this. So, we're just kind of talking about... I mean, it was a great year for games. That goes without saying. 2023 was a fantastic year for games. And we're just going to kind of talk about it for a minute. So, what was the big game for you this year, Tim? What really grabbed you?
So, anyone who's been listening to us consistently should know this, which you should know this.